Good morning, how are you? I have my cup of tea and I'm all bundled up in my new Watame sweater, all nice and cozy. And it comes with matching sweatpants. It's perfect for casual days like this when it's raining outside and nothing's on television other than watching Bay and all the Hololive members play video games like Mario Kart and Power Wash Simulator. I've almost beaten Power Wash Simulator myself, so it's fun to see their progress in the game. The girls are still in Japan, and they went to Kyoto and visited even more Hololive members. Watame got to visit Fauna for the first time, so my two big sisters are together enjoying Japan and all the different sights, which was exciting. I had wondered where Watame was because he hadn't updated until early morning, but she was fine. She was with Fauna and Bay and enjoying cat cafes and just having a fun girls' day, which was nice. I'm looking forward to hearing the updates about their meeting in person for the first time because they get along so well. And then uh, they updated on how much fun it was to see the different cultures that they hadn't seen before outside of Tokyo. I didn't go for my morning walk, but I enjoyed using my QB and watched a bit of cooking programs on Food Network. Mostly breakfast items and lots of Italian food. I like to learn how to make different recipes. I always get new ideas when they have traditional cooking programs inside their kitchen versus the cooking competitions. So I find when I watched it during the evening, there isn't many cooking programs to enjoy. I mentioned that I love Japanese cuisine, but I didn't mention what I usually eat if I can't have Japanese food. I love having breakfast items or brunch items like eggs benny, French toast, waffles, crepes, and French omelets. The difference between a French English omelet and a French omelet is how tight the curd is and how much cream you usually add. With French omelets, you don't have to add too much, and it's thinner, akin to Japanese omelets, which has a little bit of sugar in it. You don't have to add it in French omelets. You can always add different vegetables instead. And then I also love standard diner and pub fare, like pot pies, burgers, grilled cheese, fried chicken with waffles, kind of southern cuisine, which has lots of flavor but is not too complex. Simple, flavorful dishes. And my biggest weakness, if I can get away with it, is having lots of sweets. Sometimes French, British, and Austrian, German, those type of sweets, because of how flavorful they are. I know how to speak a little bit of German and Austrian from high school in my history class, and Kiara speaks a lot of Austrian and German once in a while, and my grandmother had a bit of European heritage because of her British heritage, which is what got me into afternoon tea on my grandma's side. So I'm 3/4 Chinese and then 1/4 British. I always love my mixed heritage. It gives me depth. And I also love having anything with strawberries. You'll always win me over with any strawberry dish. like strawberry shortcake, strawberry cheesecake, strawberry crepes, anything really, or just straight up strawberries. I added it to my smoothie this morning. Yummy frozen strawberries with fresh strawberries as a garnish. It was quite yummy, and I used this protein powder supplement to the smoothie, vanilla chai. It's quite yummy and makes it super thick. And I use lactose-free cream because I'm slightly allergic to milk. I usually use either almond milk, oat milk, or the lactose-free cream, as it has a lot of flavor and you don't have to worry about the problems with lactose. I'm sure if I went to Japan there would be less problems because of how pure the products are, like the milk and of course the bread that Ame had mentioned doesn't make her sick, and because she has gluten allergies and she can eat the bread just fine. Because I think they add more pasteurized products and chemicals to natural ingredients here in North America, which makes people more allergic to food, which probably is a little bit more of a problem than it needs to be, because they want to make it so it's food safe, but it's not actually food safe. Europeans and Japanese people and Australians know that you just keep everything pure, and then you don't have to worry about health problems and all the needs to go to the doctors. You're very healthy and filled with nutrition that you miss here in North America. I know I sound like I don't appreciate my homeland, but I do. I very much do, because we all have different likes and dislikes, and we all have really good cuisine here in North America. Just different. Yesterday, the new members debuted from 7 till near midnight. I managed to get to the first 3, but I had to catch up on the last one at the next day, this morning actually. Instead of going for my morning walk, I tried to finish the last member and the collab. What do I think of them so far? Shinri is like a papa, comfy and protective and dependable, and loves horror games and horror movies. Betel is unintentionally funny and very quirky, very off the wall, and really funny, suitable for a jester, and has a little dog mascot, which doesn't really look like a dog. Nobody in Tempest thinks it looks like a dog. I think it's basically a spiritual familiar, but he thinks it's a dog. Even his familiar doesn't think he's a dog. We'll figure out more about that when he talks more about his bio. Haka is a fireball of energy. He's the one that I said was the crow Hololive member. He's really good at exorcism and uses talisman quite often, and has a very, very low HP, but higher stats on everything else. He also sings metal music, or any music in general, but usually metal for his first original song. And he speaks fluent Spanish and Japanese and English, and he's planning on teaching us even more of the different languages over the weeks that he's starting his career. We learned a little bit of Spanish yesterday in his exorcism part of the introduction. It was super fun learning that. And Flay is super small and super cute, and he's like the oldest member of Tempest, 18,000 years old. It was amazing. He looks so tiny and young, but he's super, super old. Perhaps his robot form was built 18,000 years ago, or he's one of the original robots in invention in their world. Basically, the new world that all four members come from is a form of ancient Japan, which connects to Elysium, which is their version of North America and Australia. It's their way of making a new global world, and you have to super guess what part of the real world they're from. But I believe most of them are from North America. I don't know what part, but most are streaming at West Coast hours, so I'm assuming they're in the West Coast. And they get along well with the other Tempest members who probably have met them in person already. And today, we found out that Ina is going to return to streaming at 1 o'clock this afternoon. She's been having health problems like Gura, and she's been traveling and adjusting to her new house that she had rented. And she's one of the many Hololive Myth members that have moved to a new place. They're hoping that they can get a nice housewarming for each of the members. Callie is recently just moving all her stuff over from her apartment to her new large house. A lot of the members are helping her take her boxes over, so she'll be pretty much busy for the next couple of weeks, getting well adjusted. And a lot of the Hololive members who came from North America have been coming over to her old place to use her internet because hotel internet is not quite as stable, which explains why some of the members who came over would do sporadic streams or pick one laptop and stick to that one and then use their different accounts on that one laptop. They had perfect audio quality, but the internet could be iffy, which is why they also would use an image rather than using their animated 2D model too much because of how powerful the internet was, aka not that powerful at all. I've been missing Ina because she has so many nice cozy vibes with her, and she loves tea and sweets like I do. And she promised us cookies and tea and more art streams. I'm looking forward to hearing what her break was all about and what new things she has planned for us all. And whether, if all the members of Hololive English and Japanese will be doing some of their Minecraft streams or even Rust streams anytime soon. I believe Minecraft would be a possibility more than Rust because Rust can be very, very controversial. Most people want the same experience they do when they play Rust. Super fast, super violent. The girls are not really interested in that sort of thing. They want it to be cozy and build things and interact with one another. Kind of like the Minecraft experience, but more 3D and more realistic. They don't want the violence that some of their viewers want Not that I want it either, but because would love to play Rust as well, but I'm always afraid of those servers where there's lots of people who destroy people's houses, destroy all their merchandise, and like to do one-on-one duels. I'm not the most violent person, and neither are the Hololive members. So Rust is kind of hard to get into. And I don't think my poor little laptop can handle how big the game is. Hence why I don't do many game streams, and I'm sticking to Zatsu, because it's a little bit easier to just chat like this versus playing games and then working on the tech side of streaming. I'm not very tech savvy. I was lucky to even have this microphone, the condenser microphone, because most of the stuff I have are pre-built, and all you do is plug it in and play like this. I'm better at just drawing and adding the different images to these streams, like the casual outfits, these traditional Japanese outfits, which I'm still practicing with to each day. And I'm looking forward to seeing if they do even more art streams, because you get lots of tips on how to do digital art. A medium that I'm still just at the beginning stages of. I usually draw all my characters in my sketchbook first, then take a picture of it, and then I do all the line art and the painting. I've been lucky with Eva's Paint because they can do background for me. I just have to pick and choose what I need and what suits the aesthetic, which usually is mostly Japanese aesthetic or nature-based aesthetic. What is your aesthetic? Do you have a particular favorite? Let me know in the comments, and let me know which type of cuisine you usually prefer to eating, or what you like to cook on a regular basis. And what type of weather do you like? Do you like spring? Do you like winter? Do you like fall? Or are you a big summer fan where it's nice and toasty warm? For me, it's definitely spring and early summer because of all the flowers. Once the roses finish, then I'm usually trying to keep cool by taking morning walks and then finishing all my stuff during the early part of the day when it's less hot. It's the same situation in winter. I try to do it early so I can get back inside pretty quickly to keep warm. As for fall, it's just the perfect balance, just like spring. But I prefer it to be later, so I try to get most of my stuff done during the early morning too. Another reason is I love going out in the earliness because there's less crowds and you can get more done without having to maneuver through lots and lots of people. Though the drawback is most stores that sell the ingredients or items that I probably prefer open at around 11 o'clock in the afternoon, around lunch hour, and it's kind of hard to get to when it's that late in the morning and at the peak of the day, because most of my appointments and errands and everything happens before that. Perhaps one day everything will be open a little bit earlier, around 9:30, 10 o'clock, like the bookstores, because then the whole entire neighborhood would be open for people who love mornings and prefer getting things done right away when they're wide awake. I cut back on coffee the last couple of days because it's not agreeing with my stomach too well. I'll probably be sticking to tea from now on because of that fact. Is it because how strong the acid is? Most likely, because I love gentle flavors and gentle food most of the time. It has to be flavorful though, but mostly gentle. Spicy food is an iffy thing. It can be spicy, but not 5-alarm spicy. I could have hot and sour soup, but only a little bit. I could also have spicy Korean noodles, just a little bit. But then I regretted it later. Do you have problems like that? Do you also have a specific like for mild food? Let me know in the comments too. Are you an artist? Hopefully you can let me know what type of art you do, or if you're a tech expert, because I'd love to get tips. For singing, if I ever do a singing stream or a singing recording like this, I will most likely have to unarchive it depending on what songs we choose. But it will be mostly J-pop and mostly emo songs. Mostly upbeat songs or classic jazz ones like Frank Sinatra or Bing Crosby or even Gene Kelly, who inspired me to get into music. I'll probably stick away from Disney because they are even stronger with copyright restrictions. Hopefully I don't get binged for saying Disney, but I doubt that would be the case. Thank you for listening, and hopefully you enjoy a cup of tea and keep warm too. Thanks.